Let's get right into it. Number 8. The Southpaw Predator. Left-handedness was labeled wrong, abnormal, inconvenient, something to fix. For centuries, being left-handed was treated like a defect. Even language shows it. The word sinister once simply meant left. But here's the flaw in that thinking. If left-handedness were truly wrong, it wouldn't still exist. Yet it does. About 10% of the population. Across every culture, every continent, every era. That kind of persistence isn't a glitch. It's selection. The world is built for right-handed people. Tools, interfaces, workspaces, systems. Everything assumes you're part of the majority. And that's exactly where the advantage hides. Unpredictability. In combat sports, tennis, baseball, even high-stakes negotiations, people are trained to handle what's common. The 90%? Right-handed patterns, right-handed timing, right-handed angles. Then they face a southpaw. Their internal map breaks, angles feel wrong, timing slips, reactions hesitate. Elite sports data shows this clearly. Left-handers are rare in the population, yet heavily overrepresented at the top of one-on-one competition. But it's not just physical. Left-handed individuals often develop more flexible brain organization, stronger cross-hemisphere communication, less rigid motor control, more adaptive processing. Not because they were born superior, because they were forced to adapt. This advantage isn't free. It comes with friction, fatigue, constant adjustment. Being an outlier isn't a disadvantage. It's a moat. Biology gave left-handers a built-in edge, one the majority can never fully copy, no matter how hard they train. And here's the real reason. The system calls it wrong because it can't mass-produce it. Number 7. The overclocked script. Messy handwriting looks wrong, sloppy, undisciplined, low effort. Teachers circle it in red. Managers frown at it. School trains you to believe neat writing equals a neat mind. But here's what that gets backwards. Handwriting isn't thinking, it's output. And sometimes the output can't keep up. Messy writing happens when the brain is moving faster than the hand can execute. Ideas arrive in clusters, connections stack, thoughts overlap. The hand lags behind. This is fluid intelligence at work. High-speed processing, rapid abstraction, prioritizing meaning over presentation. The brain chooses speed over aesthetics. People with fast brains don't slow down to decorate the thought. They rush to capture it before it disappears. That's why doctors write like that. Engineers, designers, strategists, they're not careless, they're compressing. This advantage isn't pretty. It creates chaos on the page. Unreadable notes, sideways symbols only you understand. But clarity doesn't always arrive neatly. It arrives fast. If your notes look like a code, don't apologize. Your hardware is struggling to keep up with your software. The system calls it sloppy because it can't measure thinking speed. But biology keeps it because insight doesn't wait for handwriting to catch up. Number 6. The Strategic Defector. Winners never quit. That sentence has ruined more lives than failure ever did. Because quitting was branded as weak, cowardly, a character flaw. So people stay. In bad jobs, bad projects, bad relationships, long after the math stopped working. Here's the part nobody tells you. The most successful people quit all the time. They just quit early. They don't confuse persistence with progress. They don't romanticize sunk costs. They treat time like capital. Every bad project you refuse to quit keeps you from the one that compounds. Every toxic situation you push through quietly drains leverage. Strategic quitters don't run from difficulty. They run from negative return. They cut fast. They reallocate ruthlessly. They protect bandwidth. That's the advantage. While others grind out pride, they buy optionality. While others stay loyal to dead ends, they free resources for asymmetric bets. This doesn't feel noble, it feels brutal. Quitting costs ego, it triggers judgment, it makes you look inconsistent. But blind persistence has a hidden price. Opportunity cost. Quitting isn't failure, it's liquidation. And liquidation is how you survive long enough to win. Number 5. The Fasted Predator. We're taught our entire lives that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Say it often enough, it sounds like a law of nature. But evolution tells a different story. Your ancestors didn't wake up to a bowl of cereal, they woke up hungry. And they had to hunt. When you skip breakfast, your body enters a state of high alert clarity. Your adrenaline spikes. Your focus sharpens. Your brain switches from digest mode to seek mode. This is the hunter-gatherer edge. In this state of fasted focus, your mind is less cluttered. You're not sluggish from a glucose spike. You're running on the raw energy of survival. If you feel more creative and sharper on an empty stomach, trust that instinct. You're not starving yourself. You're activating a biological performance mode that's been dormant for 10,000 years. Number 4, the midnight architect. Waking up late looks wrong, lazy, undisciplined, like you're already behind. Society worships the early riser, the alarms, the routines, the sunrise productivity. But that obsession confuses timing with value, because nothing important is built at 6 a.m. It's maintained. The real construction happens when the world goes quiet. At night, the noise disappears, no emails, no messages, no expectations waiting to be answered. No one is watching. That silence changes how the brain works. Instead of executing tasks, it starts connecting ideas. Unrelated thoughts collide, patterns form sideways. This is divergent thinking, the kind that doesn't follow checklists, the kind that redesigns systems instead of running them. Night owls aren't fighting the day, they're avoiding interference. While the early world is busy reacting, the midnight mind is free to imagine. This advantage doesn't look productive. It looks empty, unstructured, slow. But emptiness is exactly what allows scale. Most people wake up to manage what already exists. Midnight architects stay up to build what doesn't. Productivity isn't measured by when you wake up. It's measured by what didn't exist before you started. The system calls night work lazy because it can't supervise it. But biology recognizes it as a window when creation happens without interruption. Number 3, the messy genius. Walk into a messy room and people jump to conclusions. No discipline, no control, no future. Parents punish it early. Teachers warn about it. Corporate culture eliminates it. Clean desk, clean mind. That rule gets drilled in before anyone questions it. But here's what order is actually good at. Order maintains systems. Chaos creates new ones. A perfectly clean desk is optimized for execution, not invention. When everything is neatly separated, the brain stays linear, one idea at a time, one box at a time. No collision. Mess changes that. A book next to a sketch, a half-built prototype beside a coffee cup, unrelated objects sharing space. That visual clutter forces the brain to connect dots it wasn't supposed to connect. This is divergent thinking in physical form. That's why inventors don't clean between breakthroughs. They clean after. Einstein's workspace wasn't a failure of discipline. It was an external hard drive for a mind running too many processes at once. This advantage looks irresponsible from the outside. It looks inefficient, distracting, out of control. But that mess is doing work. It's incubating, cross-pollinating, letting ideas bump into each other until something new forms. Neat environments are great for following instructions. Messy ones are better for writing new rules. The system calls clutter lazy because it can't measure creativity, but biology keeps it because innovation doesn't arrive in straight lines. So if you know where everything is in your chaos, you don't have a mess, you have a lab. Number 2, the Daydream Defender. Spacing out looks wrong, lazy, unfocused, like you're not trying hard enough. School punishes it. Work culture mocks it. America teaches hustle, not drift. But drifting is where the brain connects. When you daydream, the mind doesn't shut off. It switches networks. The default mode network lights up. Distant ideas link. Old memories collide with new problems. This is where insight forms. Daydreamers aren't escaping work. They're doing a different kind of it. While others grind routines, their brains roam. And roaming finds shortcuts logic can't. This advantage doesn't look productive. It looks empty, quiet, still. But breakthroughs don't announce themselves during busy work. They appear when attention loosens. So when your mind drifts, it's not losing control. It's leaving the map, and that's where new paths are found. Number 1, the Self-Talk Strategist. You talk to yourself, and people notice. They raise an eyebrow, they joke about it, they quietly file it under something's off. But here's what they don't see. That voice isn't noise, it's a tool. When you speak out loud, the brain slows the thought down. It turns chaos into sequence, emotion into language, reaction into strategy. Athletes do it before pressure moments. Pilots do it under stress. Elite performers do it when mistakes are expensive. Because talking to yourself externalizes thinking. You can hear the error, interrupt the spiral, correct mid-process, silent thoughts loop, spoken thoughts organize. This isn't madness, it's self-regulation. Self-talk creates distance between impulse and action. It lets you coach yourself instead of being dragged by the moment. Yes, it looks strange from the outside, because most people never learned how to manage their inner voice. The system calls it crazy because it's visible, but biology keeps it because clarity often requires sound. If you talk to yourself, you're not losing control. You're taking it back, and that's an advantage most people are too quiet to build. In conclusion, have you ever thought that something about you was wrong or a disadvantage? Please leave a comment, hit like, and subscribe if you saw yourself in what we just explained. Because the thing you've always tried to fix might actually be the greatest advantage evolution ever gave you.